new district attorney for the 11th Judicial District.
It's a very simple letter. The purpose is that it looks very likely that our current DA, she was disbarred pending an appeal. She did start an appeal, and the court has said that they are not going to delay her disbarment pending that appeal. So she will have an appeal to see if she can get her law license back. But as far as the courts have indicated, it looks like as of November 1st, she may not have a law license in the state of Colorado, which means she cannot serve as our district attorney. The commissioners from all 4 counties have, well, 3 counties for sure, we're the 4th county, have all said that they would like Governor Polis to appoint the Republican who was running for district attorney, which of course makes perfect sense. He's the only one running, and we would just like to give Governor Polis a little cover to make sure he does what is right and appoint the one person that is running for that office. The letter is very simple. So far, we have the 3 from Fremont County and the 3 from Custer County having signed it. All 3 in Chaffee County have committed to sign it. They may have already faxed their signatures to Fremont County because Fremont County is kind of running point on this. So I would ask that we sign it too, so that if there is a vacancy, and I believe on November 1st, there will be a vacancy in the district attorney's office, that Governor Polis does the right thing and appoint the person running. All things point to where he should do it, and this is just a confirmation that this is what we would like him to do.
Right, and I think with with such a short time span between if DA Stanley is gone, you know, I would sure hope he does the right thing. But you know, I do believe a line in the second sentence is personal commentary that I think does not belong in this letter, where it says our communities are eager for a fresh start. I think that is not necessary. It is kind of mean. I think that some entities have been after DA Stanley from the beginning. She's served Park County well. I understand all the challenges that have gone on. Fremont County has had their challenges. I do understand that the state structure for sharing information between DA and attorneys is really clunky and cumbersome. I don't know all the details and I don't want to, but I just think that sentence does not really belong in there, because I think it's mean.
Three of the counties do. And if you want to talk mean, DA Stanley was disbarred because of misconduct. That, I mean, you just look at it. She was disbarred because of misconduct. When an attorney, a district attorney, has trouble with a judge and then launches an investigation of the judge, that is not something that is acceptable. I observed DA Stanley more than once as part of my Judicial Review Commission. I would have to go in and sit in the courtrooms of all of our judges that were up for review or up for retention. And I watched her work, and I am not sure that I can agree with your feeling that she's handled it well. This is the letter that all of us are sending. And the idea is we want a fresh start, so Governor, do the right thing. And you can wordsmith it, but at that point, it's not going to mean anything, because 3 of the counties are going to do that. And I think what you would be doing is putting yourself in a position against 3 of our counties that we work with for the district attorney. So I would suggest we just say, yep, this is it. We sign it and we're done.
Just in a comment, DA Stanley did solve a cold case that had been hanging over Park County as a very ugly thing, and helped get that prosecution. So I do believe that that was a huge service to Park County.
I personally
So-
think it's our sheriff's department that deserves
course.
almost all of the credit for that. So
Nearly 40 years after the murders of two women near Breckenridge, investigators make an arrest in this cold case. Tori Mason has learned it was DNA, blood on a glove inside one of the victims' backpacks, that along with advances in technology that helped crack this case. Barbara Oberholzer and Annette Schnee were seen hitchhiking near Breckenridge in January of 1982. Oberholzer's body was found on Hoosier Pass the next day. Schnee's body discovered in Park County 6 months later. Alan Lee Phillips of Demont is now a suspect. The Park County Sheriff says genetic genealogy helped lead to this suspect.
Once we received that information of pointing the finger at Alan Phillips, we began investigative work that's been going on for the past 6 weeks with agents from CBI, who we greatly appreciate their assistance doing that. The FBI also, we greatly appreciate their assistance.
Phillips faces charges of kidnapping, assault, and homicide.
yeah, I too, look, I've asked the sheriff continuously, are we having issues in Park County similar to the other counties in the district? We have not. There are different experiences in Custer, Chaffee, and Fremont. This letter originated, I believe, from what I recollect, and that is not perfect, out of Fremont County, and there has been direct, open conflict between the commissioners and the district attorney. That's their bailiwick, not ours. To that end, I know those communities are looking forward, and this is a possibility or a probability with her disbarment. I asked this question, I think, a month ago, what's going to happen by watching the media if she were disbarred, and we have no ability for a district attorney to serve in the current circumstances if she's disbarred. So this makes sense. I will just state on the record, I don't particularly care for the sentence. I don't think it's necessary. I understand other people have a different opinion. And because of that, I will sign the letter, but I wanted to put it on the record that it's an unfortunate circumstance, but we need to make sure that the person appointed is capable of performing the office. Thank you, Mr. Whistle.
Right. And I agree that Jeff Lindsay will serve us well. I have no doubt about that. And I will sign the letter because we do not want someone appointed for a couple months before swearing in January. It would only put JD 11 in more turmoil, but I will sign it in protest of that second sentence, because I think it is, it's not needed and not necessary for the communication intended to the governor. So I found out last week at CCI winter conference that we are asked to be a party to a lawsuit that Chafee, Custer, and Fremont are in. And I did talk to Dwayne. He did send the documents over. And I think you probably dialed in more than I am, Commissioner Elsner.
Yeah, it's the other three counties. And what they're trying to do is recover money from our previous DA. She was using public money in her defense against being disbarred for misconduct. However, she has not won. It doesn't look like she is going to win. I mean, she appealed, but I don't see anything coming out of that. So basically, what they want to do is try to recover some of the money she spent in her own defense. In addition to that, there were some things that were purchased, they believe, using the DA's budget that suddenly disappeared, and they want to do some work looking into that. So basically, the other three counties, and Fremont County is on the lead because, of course, her main office was in Fremont County, and they noticed all of this stuff. They just would like to put some accountability back to try to recover some of the costs that the DA's office has suffered because of what she did. And that's just the lawsuit. To me, it's something that, if nothing else, it sends a message that you can't do that type of activity if you're an elected official. And we expect to be held accountable for it. And I'm hoping that they can do something to recover some of the money and make sure that it never happens again. And that's why I was in favor of it.
And are you asking that we sign on to that lawsuit?
I think we should.
Have you seen the documentation? Because I haven't seen a roll up of her budget and what expenditures are, it's are being questioned.
If you want a roll up of her budget, you're going to have to wait a while. The 4 years she was DA, we wanted a roll up of her budget every year before we approved the next budget, and she never could give it to us. And it was always just kind of weird. And there are things going on, and I just think that the way they can get down to the bottom of everything is through this process, and let someone else, not commissioners, not attorneys that work for her, but let the judicial system sort it out and figure out what went on and whether there should be some money coming back to the district attorney's office, and then also pursue anything else that the judicial system would deem necessary and proper to make sure that she can't get away with it again.
Okay, then.
Or maybe she's innocent and okay, we're fine. But I think we really need to let them go ahead and go through it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a question and evidence of wrongdoing, absolutely, it should be looked at because those are public funds. That is Judicial District 11 taxpayer dollars. I mean, it's all their money. So I've received the documents from Fremont County. I will forward them to Erin and have her review them and get her feedback on that as well. And for the record, I was contacted by, I don't know, Colorado Springs newspaper. I don't know, remember which one, but Commissioner Elsner, I am not a drinking buddy with DA Stanley. And you told that to this.
I just
don't interrupt. You told that to this reporter, and I am not, and I want on the record that to be known that I am not a drinking buddy of DA Stanley.
I am
or
just
former
repeating
Stanley.
comments you have made.
Never.
Oh, yes, you have, Madam Chair.
I would like you to
Talked
prove
about
those
the
comments.
DA. You made a comment. Well, I'm her drinking buddy. I'll sit down and talk to her about a budget.
I would like you
made
to
that comment.
provide that factual, that statement that you said is fact.
Hey, you know,
It is
I
not.
think it's fact. I think there's other people that may support that. I will find out if there's anybody else. But you know, there are so many times that you say things that just are not factual.
I met with DA Stanley once when she was first into office at the American Legion post, which I am a member of, to have a conversation about just Park County in general. And Stephanie, her assistant DA here in Park County, and kind of get the lay of the land. And that was the only time I have met with her ever. So I just want you to know that. And I drank a ginger ale.
Well, I didn't say you drank with her. I was saying that you were saying you were her drinking buddy in an effort to gain respect from people, saying, oh, she's got some clout. That's what it was about. It wasn't about how much you drank, because I don't know that. But you
Madam
did
Chair.
say in more than one meeting. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Whistle.
Oh, this is so much fun. Hey, what kind of money are we talking about here? Are we talking about 25,000? We talking about 250,000? What's the allegation? I heard about this through KRDO television station, through their reporter. Apparently, all three of us have talked to him. He said he talked to all three of us. I think we just heard about this lawsuit at conference. I don't recall ever hearing about this effort before we were at the Westminster Westin. Now, if I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I want to know the severity of this, because if this is just another fishing expedition, which it could be, to go after a political enemy, then that's one thing. But if there's actual factual misappropriation of funds, that's entirely another. I don't know where it is. So therefore, I'm not ready to make a decision until I see some facts personally of what those things are.
I'll provide the documents that that I received from Fremont County. I'll give them to Cindy and have her disseminate those, so we can all look at the only information I've seen, and I got it this week. I think I received it Friday and yesterday, all the documents that were referenced. So we can continue this conversation.
Yeah, and
Thank you,
Commissioner
ma'am.
Whistle, your thought about political enemy, that's kind of the way you think about everything. Someone who doesn't agree with you must be a political enemy, not the fact that they disagree with you. Throughout her tenure, there have been all kinds of issues. She has been disbarred because of her actions as DA. She did use county or DA money to pay her attorneys. Those are the facts that have been gathered so far. Whether it rises to a crime, whether it rises to a crime or not,
individual elected official, sir. That was her duty.
Whether it rises to a crime or not, we don't know.
Expert on everything.
That's why the district attorney or the county attorney from Fremont County has put all of this together, because they feel there is a lot of evidence that happened. It is not a political thing. It's because she did things that were not proper, which is why the Supreme Court in Colorado has disbarred her. Sir,
I'm not
it's not
questioning
a
the
political
action.
enemy. It's someone who was doing things in their office that rose to the level that she needed to be disbarred.
Okay, Commissioner Whistle.
I'm not objecting to that. That's a matter of fact. The factuals that I'm looking for are this new allegation coming out of the three counties who never did appreciate or respect Linda Stanley. That's clear. My 2 years here, we have not had the issues, thankfully, that the other counties have. I'm not disregarding their concern or their experiences. I just want to know if it applies to as well to Park County, and is there anything we can do to mitigate this in this situation? That's all, based on the facts.
Anytime someone takes tax money that comes from Park County and uses it improperly, it involves Park County, period. It's not a case of did she do her job as a DA or not. I was in a courtroom several times observing her only because I was there to observe judges as part of the judicial review process. You can argue one way or the other whether she did her job properly or not. That is not the question. It's how did she use taxpayer funds provided by Park County, provided by Fremont County, provided by Custer and Chaffee County? Did she misuse taxpayer funds? That has as big effect on Park County as it has on the other counties.
All right, so I will make sure that the information that I have at hand that I just saw very recently, as of last Friday and yesterday, is disseminated to all three of us and to Aaron, our county attorney, and we can have further discussion.
We had a recommendation. We had put this on the agenda because I had reached out to Commissioner Grantham in Fremont County, who I've known for a long time, about this pending lawsuit with Custer, Chaffee, and Fremont respectively against our former 11th Judicial District Attorney, Linda Stanley. Had a brain moment there. And so we had gotten some raw data from them, and I had not had a conversation with any of the commissioners directly. I don't know if the rest of you have had or not. I haven't had the opportunity. What's going on here is, as former DA Stanley was challenged on the validity of her law license and apparently had not completed her continuing ed requirement to maintain that law license. Because of that, she was censured by the state court system. And in late December, I believe, of 2024, her law license was removed by those procedures in the judicial branch. There was a movement then by the other counties to declare the position vacant and have the governor make an appointment, which he did. And it went to Mr. Jeff Lindsay, who was the only candidate that ran for that position in the November 24 general election. So with that, those counties have cause to believe that District Attorney Stanley was using taxpayer dollars inappropriately. And I don't know anything beyond that. I'll just leave it there.
Well, and Aaron Smith, our attorney, said that she has not had a chance to review any legal documents, so she can't comment on the nature of the litigation, and so we need to get her advice and figure out, where we sit as a county. I looked at the spreadsheet.
Doesn't tell you anything.
It wasn't self-explanatory.
No, it wasn't.
So we'll wait to hear back from Aaron, and then we can have further conversation.
But I wanted to set the table that we have been asked to look at this, and we had a constituent ask that last week. And so we put it on the agenda so that we could at least address it, and we will do our due diligence. And that starts with our county attorney to see if there's any there. Just to be clear in setting the table for this, we have not had the issues in Park County with the district attorney in her tenure that other counties have experienced. I want to make that very clear. Our sheriff, we continually ask him and use his counsel to see, are we experiencing some of these same issues that our three other counties are, and we have not. So we were reticent at that point, in our opinion, because we didn't know enough, in my opinion, to go forward. So we'll continue to discuss with our attorney.
The information was provided to Commissioner Elsner, but he did not share it with us, and we didn't have any data on where the wrongdoing was or any numbers to show where there was the alleged wrongdoing. And so we were blindsided in December saying, why haven't you guys from Fremont County, why haven't you joined the lawsuit? I had no idea. We hadn't been communicated anything. I had no idea. We hadn't been communicated anything. I found out last week at CCI Winter Conference that we are asked to be a party to a lawsuit that Chafee, Custer, and Fremont are in. And I did talk to Dwayne. He did send the documents over. So I've received the documents from Fremont County. I will forward them to Erin and have her review them and get her feedback on that as well. I think I received it Friday and yesterday, all the documents that were referenced. So we can continue this conversation. The information was provided to Commissioner Elsner, but he did not share it with us, and we didn't have any data on where the wrongdoing was or any numbers to show where there was the alleged wrongdoing. And so we were blindsided in December saying, why haven't you guys from Fremont County, why haven't you joined the lawsuit? We were blindsided. I'll provide the documents that I received from Fremont County. I'll give them to Cindy and have her disseminate those so we can all look at the only information I've seen, and I got it this week. The information was provided to Commissioner Elsner, but he did not share it with us, and we didn't have any data on where the wrongdoing was or any numbers to show where there was the alleged wrongdoing. And so we were blindsided in December saying, why haven't you guys from Fremont County, why haven't you joined the lawsuit? I had no idea. We hadn't been communicated anything.
With that, we are at public comments. Do we have any public comment in the room? Gentlemen, please join us. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Dave Santo from Grant. I'm surprised that the county commissioners claim to have received good service from former JD11 DA Linda Stanley. She was disbarred last fall and then successfully sued for civil theft, fraudulently spending public funds for her own benefit. Those public funds partially belong to Park County, to all of us. The three other counties in JD11 tried to coordinate the lawsuit with Park County, who chose not to join. I find the statement made today at today's work session that Dick Elsner withheld the information and Commissioners Whistle and Mitchell were blindsided by the lawsuit, frankly not believable. I discussed that statement today with Mr. Elsner, who said, we had a discussion with Fremont commissioners, and I believe one from Chafee, where they talked about the possibility of the suit late last fall. And I believe Dwayne McFall, a Fremont commissioner, talked to them directly at our winter conference last December. You can go back to some meetings in the late fall when it was brought up, and Dave Whistle made the statement that he didn't want to take part because he thought it was made up, end quote. I asked the commissioners to explain their relationship with Ms. Stanley and why they chose to not join the other three counties in the lawsuit to the benefit of their Park County constituents. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.